Hi everyone, Unfiltered here. Just like previous year, we're going to take a look at the ESR lineup, but this time for the 17 series. Let's first start with the classic case. This one comes with two camera bump solutions. I have the closed version, but you can also have one with the entire cutout for the camera bump. This is a flexible clear case. The backplate is somewhat stronger, but still flexible. They do say that it has anti-yellowing technology and that it stays clear for up to 3 times longer. But what that means in actual terms is always a surprise though. And I think it's difficult to measure without a consistent point of comparison. So keep that in mind. The fit is excellent. It's very easy to install the case. And it's also a very snug fit as well. The buttons on this case aren't clicky per se, but they are very tactile, meaning you get the feedback, just not the sound. Camera control is excellent. Good control on that button, has that material which sort of slows down movement, which is also excellent for precise use, and it's also easily pressed in, which then is preferable for taking photos. The case feels nice and comfortable. The front does have that swell at the top and bottom, but it's good everywhere. Moving over the case, you can feel ridges or edges from where the case is made one, but then again, it's not a very expensive case, so it's in line of expectation. MagSafe strength is exceptional though, at like a 9 out of 10. Then the Cloud Soft magnetic case. Feels like a very soft silicone case, much like the Rinky silicone if you're familiar with that one. Here too, those amazing magnets at like a 9 out of 10 when talking strength, so that's excellent. Very soft suede-like inner, so that also feels very premium. The fit is also very good. Much better than the Rinky silicone, for example. On that one, there were issues in the past where the corners were very weak and were easily popped off, and that's just not the case on this one. It's soft to touch, but the frame is very sturdy. This is probably one of the best silicone cases I've ever seen so far. I also love that because it's all silicone, it does not slide around your table, which I also described in my dedicated video for the Cyber Tough case, which we'll also go over in a bit, don't you worry, but that's just great. The buttons are clicky and tactile. Excellent work here too. And the front protection is similar to the first case, as it sort of swells up at the top and bottom again. Of course, comfortable all around this case, which is always a given on these silicone type of cases. Some of the details could be a little bit more refined though, like here on that button. And I absolutely hate the camera bump looking at it from the side. It looks like it just popped out of the case, but it's not. You can open up this ring so you can use it as a kickstand, which is a nice feature, but it just looks awful from the side. And I cannot get used to that. It does have the closed camera bump design, so there is a plate in front of it still. So for protection, that is great. But that side I just talked about, they should have really concealed that a lot better in my opinion. Camera control on the case is flush with the case and works nice. There's also a variation to that called the Classic Hybrid. It's basically the same case without the suede-like inner, of course, and made out of TPU instead of silicone. Exact same camera bump design, which also has that aesthetic issue I just talked about. But when talking comfort, it feels great, and it really reminds me of the Banks Mist case, just with a different camera bump. This also has that smoke transparent plate on the back in the shape of that ceramic plate, so awesome job. MagSafe still a 9 out of 10. And by really all measurements, it's just another great case. The buttons are a little less tactile though, which is sad, and I'd prefer the Cloud version still, but if you don't like that silicone material because of how fast it looks dirty or attracts dust in general, then this might be the perfect solution. And then finally, the Cyber Tough case. And I love this case, like I said in my dedicated video. It's a very thought out design This two-piece case can be installed in just one go, has a harder shell with a soft silicone-like inner, but the corners of that softer material stay visible. So that's what it rests on, which is great so it doesn't slide off the table, but it's also great for just dropping it. I've drop tested this case and it only had some dust on that corner which you could just wipe off. Because it's that softer silicone material, it won't get damaged as easily like say a full TPU case would. So you can drop this thing more often without having to deal with the permanent plastic damage. Excellent MagSafe on here as well. The 9 out of 10. It's a thicker and bulkier case for sure, but it's still relatively slim compared to some other bulky options. It also has that closed camera bump plate, so even though they offer more colors for this case, you can of course rock it with other color iPhones too, since you don't really see your own color. Buttons are clicky and tactile. And it even has that USB-C cover, which is easily used. Because of that, it's also very comfortable to support with your pinky finger. So yes, this is another excellent case. Now let me know which brand I should be looking at next, and if you aren't done watching yet, maybe you will also like this video, or maybe even that one, and I'll hope to see you there.